Hannah Marks is back this year, Tribeca, with another banger. This time we're going to be reviewing her new film that she directed, Don't Make Me Go. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Don't Make Me Go, which made its world premiere at this year's Tribeca Film Festival 2022, and it will be premiering on Amazon Prime Video July 15th. Yeah, Amazon snatched this one up real quick. Amazon Studios was like, yeah, we need that one, and I don't blame them. This was a good one. So yeah, you can check it out on Amazon Prime July 15th. Yeah, director Hannah Marks, who last year put out this film that I really enjoyed, Mark Murray and some other people, and now she's back with another one. So that was the first thing I said, okay, Hannah, let's see what you got this year. And with the names attached to this, I said, I think this is going to be good. And it did not let down at all. This time, reviewing Don't Make Me Go stars John Cho, who Cowboy Bebop, if you've recently seen, as Spike. I mean, they need to bring that back, but that's a conversation for another day. And also Sulu from the Star Trek series. If you've been keeping up with those, some of my favorite films out there, whether you like them or not, I think they're very enjoyable. But John is fantastic, and he is paired alongside a newcomer, Mia Isaac, who is making her feature-length film debut. And the two of them, they really got something special in this film. This was a really, really, really good film. It's a stellar coming-to-age film. This film is really good. I think for the films that I sorted out this year that I wanted to check out, this one did live up all the way to the hype. I read the synopsis. I said, yeah, I think that's going to be good. And again, with the names attached, I said, yeah, I think that's going to be good. So it definitely didn't let down at all. But let's talk about the film here. So you have Max, who's played by John. He sells insurance. And the reason I'm even bringing that up is for whatever reason, and maybe I'm just missing the point, but the people who sell insurance, are they considered like, is that like a slander to like, you're not financially doing good or whatnot? Like, this is maybe like the third or fourth film that like being an insurance salesman is like a slander. But like, yes, he sells insurance, and quickly they make it known that he's like middle class and whatnot, because he's like, oh, I'm not rich like you're like the other families. In talking to Mia's character, his daughter Wally, who's 15 years old. And Wally, as being 15 years old, you can imagine what she's up to. She's head over heels over her boyfriend, Glenn. She's in the very midst of summer break, so she's looking for fun and just, you know, having a time of her life and whatnot. But yeah, doing what all kids do, you know, making careless mistakes, lies to her dad, trouble. And then like Glenn, like let's just talk about Glenn for a quick second. Glenn isn't anything good for her. Glenn is just some horny teenager who don't want to commit, who's just all about trying to get in her pants and sexting and all those sorts of things. It's bad temptations left and right, but she loves him. You know, she really wants him, you know, for whatever reasons, and she labels the reasons why, but like obviously not good. And obviously you could imagine that her dad and Max is just not going to be like truly happy about that, you know. And when the more and more he finds out about him, more and more he's like, yeah, that's not a good look, you know what I mean? But the thing about it with the two of them is this, that like, you know, Wally has done a lot of questionable things, as many kids do, in terms of decision making and whatnot. And I have to say that like we all can relate there, because I think a lot of us has done things or thought about doing things, and you know, one of those things where like you're sorry because you got caught but not actually sorry because you did what you did, type of stuff, you know, just that whole lack of trust dynamic with our parents. And that's sort of the dynamic you got with the two of them. But there's some other kind of things that's kind of going about, and not to mention too, we'll come back to it, but like obviously, you know, there's certain events that actually get us to what this film, the journey of this film. So Max has a terminal illness. He has found out, which is very sad. He has chordoma, which is a bone tumor on the base of the skull, and in getting these diagnoses, he pretty much has a year to live. And with that, you know, he I don't think he necessarily took the news bad, but he did what most parents would have did and say, what can I do in this year to connect closer with my kids, in this case with Wally, and really give her the max of this that he can. And that's instantly where his mind went. He didn't think about himself. He didn't think about relationships or any other prior engagements. He instantly thought about his daughter, because, you know, he knows his daughter's not ready to lose him. She's still young, 15 years old and whatnot. And he has options here. He either has the option of just riding it out, which gives him a year, or he can get a surgery, but he may die on the surgical bed and whatnot. But he decides, like, you know, I'll take the chance in terms of just letting this ride out, or taking a route, and I ain't gonna say the chance, but taking a route of just letting this ride out so that he can be more, give her more time, as max time as possible, without the probability of possibly dying and whatnot. But on the other end, Wally went to a party, didn't tell her dad, grounded. And again, the whole Glenn thing, being horny and whatnot, yes, he's adding that whole pressure, pressuring her for sex and all and whatnot. And like, she is definitely conflicted. Like, she knows that's not what she wants to do, but she knows she wants him, you know. And so she's dealing with that type of internal battle. With the diagnosis of the terminal illness of the chordoma, well, Max decides, you know what? I think this would be a good time to really strengthen the father-daughter bond. And this is where he says, hey, you know, maybe we should go on a road trip from California to Louisiana. Why Louisiana? Because it is his 20th year anniversary from college, which is very coincidental that these type of things are kind of happening. I get it for the sake of the movie, but it's kind of like coincidental that, like, oh, you have your 20th college reunion. And at the same time, he also wants to attempt to reconnect her with her mother, who left out of their life and left the two of them while she went and did other things and whatnot. Yeah, she not only just left Max, but she left Max for his friend, and Dale. And so, like, you know, when you start to build these different elements into Max's life, he didn't really have it easy. You know, he had a lot of different emotional journeys in his own personal life. And that's what I think is really strong about this character, because with all the things that he does have that he could easily just, you know, sit back and do nothing about, or sit back and just kind of dwell in depression from these sorts of things, he kind of just stands up for her, and he's kind of just like, you know, I want to do something for my daughter. But like, like, let's call it what it is. One of my favorite Disney movies is Goofy movie, and we all know how that went in terms of Goofy asking Max to come on this road trip, and Max is definitely not for it because he wants to hang out with his friends and whatnot. It's the same thing here, but he convinces her because he's like, well, if you come, I'll teach you how to drive. Listen, I know you can think whatever you want to say about this, but as a kid, that is monumental bargaining right there. Like, I was like, yeah, that's gonna do it. And by all means, she's like, all right, I'm on board. She was ready to go instantly. And yeah, she's not quite ready to drive, but I think that's part of the journey as well too. It's seeing the two of them grow together, learning more about one another, but also like creating experiences. And driving and whatnot is a huge experience in any kid's upbringing. But yeah, she's not aware that not only is she going, because she absolutely thinks it's weird that she's going to a college reunion, but she's not aware that it's an intent for her to meet her mother, Nicole. And again, in his mindset, he's like, hey, you know, before I die, I would like to help my kid, you know, meet her mother. You know what I mean? And of course, he does what anybody would do, goes to Facebook and does searching, and boom, finds out where she's at. And there's that, and that all leads them all into Louisiana. Again, coincidental, because the reunion's there and she's there and whatnot, and so on. So, yeah, you know, this was definitely a very interesting journey. I want to talk about some of the things I like real quick. One, I completely enjoyed the banter between our leads here in Mia and John. I like how at first it was kind of stiff, and then it loosened up as the more they bonded. Like, I thought like that kind of storytelling and character arcs I thought was done very organically. Like it didn't feel forced, it didn't feel rushed. It just progressed in a way that was easily digestible. I also enjoy the banter between Annie and Max. Annie is, well, let's just call it what it is. They are just hookup buddies, sex partners and whatnot. And I love the awkwardness between any conversations outside of sex. Like, Annie was like, look, I'm just here for a good time. That's all Max wants to kind of like deliver. That's all she kind of wants to get. But like, when it comes down to the serious nature of the things that he's having, these are life-changing things. The terminal illness, the daughter meeting her mom, him reconnecting with the mother, you know, whatever prior feelings they may still have, or he may still have, whatever it may be. It's a lot. And I love the fact of how awkward it was between the two of them. So anytime anything outside of sex, it was just like, But I will say, beyond the two of them, you're like, well, what's the deal with the two of them besides, you know, this sexual commitment that they have between one another? Either one of them are in the right space for a relationship. So like, they're very comfortable with this dynamic that they have. So like, I enjoyed that. It was very, very, it created a good balance to this film, shall I say. I do love the messages in this film, just about how precious life is, how making every second count, and just understanding how powerful the truth really is. And you know, and I also think one of my favorite messages in this film, because there was a bunch of messages, is like taking a chance and like betting on yourself. Like, those are very, very strong messages, and the way how they put that into this story was done really well. And then John's performance was just really upped in the final act. I mean, he's a star, we all knew that, but yeah, that third act, he really put it into overdrive. And I got to say that Mia, who again making her feature-length film debut, really enjoyed her performance, and she has something. I love their chemistry together, but like, Mia stole scenes at times. She was good. Definitely looking forward to seeing where her career goes beyond this. Definitely gonna be some eyes on her. But be sure to see her in future projects very soon. Trust me, heard it here first. But yeah, overall, the third act was just truly special. It had all the emotions, all of them, and I really loved this scene after a car accident. I thought it was really, really, really good. The acting, the cinematography, all of it just really came together really good. And I thought the script was really good. Tons of funny moments in the dialogue alone. And I really loved, like, while the dialogue did have a lot of humor, there was some foreshadowing and definitely some coincidental tidbits, kind of like eerie messages intertwined in the dialogue, which, you know, adds for the drama and whatnot. Soundtrack was solid. And then just the ending, just completely wow. Like, for real, like, wow. I was speechless. I was literally speechless. I was like, wow. And even with there being a warning in the beginning of the film, I really had no clue what was in store. Like, I was just, for real. So like, this film took us on a good ride with tons of laughs, a lot of heart, and this is one to keep your eye out for. Like, this is a film to keep your eye out for. I really enjoyed this film. Don't Make Me Go, folks, again making its world premiere at Tribeca Film Festival 2022, and then you can catch it on Amazon Prime July 15th. Jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts about this film, and as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.
I keep